my endometriosis productivity tips, or should I say how I stay productive despite living with endometriosis plus adenomyosis. Endo has pretty much forced me to start looking out for myself. So some days ago, or maybe some weeks ago, depending on the time that you get to watch this video, so I was walking to the car park with a colleague of mine who also doubles as my line manager. And she turned to me and she said, how do you manage to stay productive, to stay positive? You always look good. You're always cheerful. Despite living with very severe endometriosis. And obviously I looked at her and, said, you know what? It's not easy, but these are the tips that have helped me in sustaining and maintaining a good state of health, mental health now, despite living with very serious endometriosis. So I've actually thought to make this, into a video and just share with you guys my endometriosis productivity tips, or should I say how I stay productive despite living with endometriosis plus adenomyosis. So let's just get started. Guys, before I carry on, I must say that there's actually a little fan right beside me because it is very, very sunny today and it is extremely hot, and I'm also experiencing hot flushes. Talk about endometriosis and the many treatments I'm having for that. So please pardon me if the sound from the fan gets into the video and you can actually hear the fan spinning. Please just bear with me. Okay, so before I go on, I would like to give you a brief overview of what endometriosis is all about, because I'm sure some of you might be wondering, but we don't know what this is all about. I know in some videos previously I've mentioned it a few times, hinted it actually, but I've not done a proper video explaining my endometriosis journey, but I still plan to do that. I've just not had the time. Guys, this is something I've lived with for 14 years, so the story is going to be very, very long, very long. But anyways, so just a quick overview of what endometriosis is all about. I'll be reading from my iPad, and this is from the NHS UK. So they say endometriosis is a condition where tissue similar to the lining of the womb grows in other places, such as the ovaries and the fallopian tubes. It is a long-term condition that can have a significant impact on your life and all of that. It doesn't have a cure. Endometriosis doesn't have a cure, and it kind of impacts your quality of life because it affects virtually everything about you. I will just read through some of the symptoms, but obviously there are more to this. So you could experience pain in your lower tummy, your back pain, period pain, pelvic pain, pain during or after sex, pain when peeing or pooing, feeling sick, constipated, diarrhea, blood in your pee or poo during the period, difficulty getting pregnant, and all of that. Obviously, this is not a fertility video, and I think I need to share my fertility journey as well. So there are several videos I need to, make actually as regards endometriosis, but now is not the time for that because I just do not have the time. It's a long one actually. So brief overview of my journey. I will not go into full details because of time. So I've lived with endometriosis for 14 years, or should I say I was officially diagnosed towards the end of 2010/2011, so about 13 years actually, but I believe I had lived with endometriosis way longer than that, before it was properly diagnosed, because I was just trying to manage the pain on my own with over-the-counter painkillers. Anyways, so in the course of this 14 years, I've had multiple surgeries, I've had multiple treatments, a lot of treatments. I'm still on one right now, and I'm also I'm still on a form of treatment at the moment, and in a couple of months I would have another surgery again. But anyways, so that's the brief overview. So you're wondering, so how do you stay productive despite all of that? One thing about endometriosis is, besides all the symptoms I read to you from the NHS UK, it comes with a lot of fatigue. You're pretty much tired every time. You're knackered and exhausted. So something that someone would do would not make them tired, or they wouldn't feel exhausted. You, as someone living with endometriosis, would do the same thing and you'll be knackered. Yet I do all of this and even much more, despite being a mom of a toddler, a full-time nurse, and living with severe endometriosis. Actually, my endometriosis is actually stage 4 because it's like deeply infiltrating endometriosis. Like I've got like very thick adhesions in my pelvic region. Actually, I have like a frozen pelvis already. So despite all of that, and recently I got another diagnosis that I've got adenomyosis on top of stage 4 endometriosis. It was a recent MRI that I did actually revealed that. So with all of that comes a lot of fatigue. Let's not even get into talking about the pain, severe pain that comes with living with endometriosis. And of course, now that I know adenomyosis, which I kind of knew before the doctors knew, like I kind of knew I had adenomyosis in addition to my endometriosis, but again, it was just they just found it I think in February. The MRI I did in February. Anyway, so no, actually last year. I just remember it was November last year that it was the MRI I did November last year. So how do I stay productive? The first tip I would share is this has actually helped me in recent times. Like when people say have a routine. To me, it used to be like, okay, I would have a routine, but I never really like understood the importance of having a routine until I created one for myself. So now, and I would say the reason why having a routine matters if you live with endometriosis, because with endo you have loads of flare-ups and they just come unexpectedly. Fine, you know that you're always in pain, like you always have pain, but the extreme flare-ups will just come and it comes unexpectedly. But when you have a routine in place, you're able to like manage your timetable, and having a routine in place also helps with me managing my time because my energy levels actually fluctuate. So I try to like prioritize the important things first. So I know you may say, but this is what everybody does. I'm saying this because when you live with endometriosis, you can't even afford not to do this. Prioritization is like on top of your list. So what I do is I do like the most important things for the day first. And this is why I'm actually filming this video now. Like if I don't get to film this video, and if I wait till like say like 5 o'clock ish, I'm like knackered for the day and I can't do like any other meaningful thing. Obviously I do other things after 5 p.m. like I'm still able to like cook. Guys, I do lots of things, but time management actually just helps me with my flare-ups. And about the morning routine, I know a lot of people generally have like morning routine. When I wake up, I do this, I do that, I do all of that. For me, it is very, very simple. I keep it very simple. When I wake up in the morning, I kind of trick my brain that today will be a good day. Like regardless of whatever flare up will come, regardless of the pain you experience, guys, I experienced loads of pain, like 10 over 10 kind of pain, and I'm still able to work full time. So when you see me not showing up on YouTube or on social media and all of that, or when you see that I'm not like being consistent, guys, it is all due to my endo and the pain that comes with that, and then having a family. So I wake up in the morning telling myself, this is the day the Lord has made. I would rejoice and be glad in it. So obviously sometimes I shout it on top of the roof, but there are times I just say it to myself quietly, and there are times I don't even verbalize it, but I have it in my mind. I just say it in my mind, like, this is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And that just helps me with my day. Also, I remember when I attended Fountain of Life Church in Nigeria, Psalm 99 was like our watchword for the day. Like we'd always confess it every Sunday, and it became part of me. Like we're told to always confess it every day, and I still do that today. And it's so funny because I already know Psalm 91 by heart, so I don't even have to like shout that. I pretty much just say like words like, they that dwell in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Okay, this is not like Bible study class, but yeah. So confessing that today will be a good day, like regardless, today is the day the Lord has made, I would rejoice and be glad in it. I think that also helps me to start off my day on a good note. And I'm not so surprised when my colleagues like realize that despite all of these things, like she's always happy, I'm always cheerful. Like you wouldn't even guess that something that bad lives inside of my body. You would not guess, because I kind of just trick my mind that today is going to be a good day regardless of what endo brings my way. So that's something I do about my morning routine. And of course, I've been able to like tag that with my time management skills, such that I prioritize the most important things of the day first. So I do the very important things first, and later I get to the least important. And that's why a lot of times I get to cook at night as against waking up to cook. And that's because cooking is not really really a priority, if you get what I mean. There are other things, actually things that will make me money are like priority for me. Spending time with my child is like priority for me. So I tend to cook later in the day, so I do a lot of cooking at night, and I just know that I can just, because I do a lot of batch cooking as well, which is also a tip for you if you live with endo. That time I remember last day February, I think I had a very nasty flare up and my son was barely 5 months old then. The flare up was so bad, I must have even ruptured one of my ovaries. It was so bad. And I remember that despite I was in and out of the hospital at that time, but my husband did not lack food, because the fridge and the freezer, they were packed with food. Like, I love batch cooking, and this is also something that's also helped me. Batch cooking and just storing in the freezer or refrigerator, because you don't know when your flare-ups will come. You don't know when you'll be too knackered to even cook, or sometimes you wouldn't even know when you end up in the hospital with so much pain, despite all the painkillers that they prescribe. So yeah, that's also one of those things that actually help, that help me boost my productivity. Next one is self-care. And I know that self-care is like something that people talk about, like it's like people like preach it, you have to care for yourself, blah blah blah. And I'm also like very big on self-care, but the reason why I'm big on self-care is because of my endometriosis. Like, endo has even forced me to start looking out for myself. I used to be that person that would look out for every other person first before looking out for myself, but endo has pretty much forced me to start looking out for myself. So self-care is very big. And now self-care with endometriosis varies. Like, Lady A perceives as self-care for her will be different from me or Lady C or Lady E. Do you get, like, we all would have different definition of self-care, despite the fact that we all live with endometriosis. So for me, I know this is very, very, it may sound ridiculous or even expensive considering the energy bills that this would cost, but I love staying longer in the bath. If you get what I mean, like, I love having hot shower for longer. Does that make sense? Like, I know a lot of people would say to save your energy bills, just have like 2 or 3 minutes shower and just get out of the bathroom. That doesn't work for me. I stay longer under the shower, like hot shower now, for like say 10, sometimes 15 minutes actually, and that also helps me. It relieves the tension in my body. It also helps me with inflammation. Guys, one of the major reasons why we have loads of fatigue as an endo warrior, I call people living with endometriosis endo warrior, and I know a lot of us do the same. So if you're an endo warrior, the reason why you're fatigued half of the time or most of the time is because there's so much inflammation going on in your body. So for me, I feel like I've realized that when I stay longer, having a very hot shower, or maybe warm, but honestly just a hot shower, it helps to relax my body and it reduces my stress levels. So that has really, really helped. I also do meditation, and I used to do yoga. Funny how I used to do yoga, but I've stopped. So I'm not going to lie and sit there and say, I've actually stopped doing yoga. I used to be a big fan of yoga, but honestly, I just don't have the time. So now I do a lot of meditation. I could just stay on the bed. I would sit still and just keep meditating. So that helps me. And of course, studying the word obviously also helps to renew your mind. But yeah, so in terms of self-care, honestly, hot shower helps me, meditation helps me as well. Next tip I will share is about nutrition. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, I have the most balanced nutrition. No, but I cook my meals. I eat out once in a while, and that's even at work, like in the hospital canteen or the hospital kitchen, whatever it is we call it. But like in a week, we have 5 days in a week, like work week. Trust me, I would take my lunch to work, like my homemade lunch to work, like 3 out of those 5 days. So I try to like cook my food myself, just so I'm able to like control whatever I eat. I'm not saying I'm very big on that. I still eat lots of chocolates. But under nutrition, what I will also mention is the fact that I've been able to identify my triggers. So I haven't lived with endometriosis for 14 years now, or let's say 13. Like I said, I feel like I've lived with it for longer. It was just diagnosed in 2010. Like, I've had it since I started my period, really, from my own understanding. So in terms of nutrition, I've been able to like understand my triggers. Like, I told you that I had a very nasty flare-up in February last year when my son was just about 5 months, and it was then I realized that coffee was a trigger for me. Guys, because I was having sleepless, obviously when you just have a baby, I was having sleepless nights and all of that, and obviously I shouldn't be drinking coffee, but coffee was like, I found solace in coffee at that time, honestly. And yeah, I drank lots and lots of coffee, and that triggered my flare up. So over the years, I've been able to identify my triggers. Coffee is one of them, and you would not believe that in the last 1 year, I've not tasted coffee. I know this is ridiculous. Yes, I've not had coffee. I've now had to like do a lot of tea, because it has lesser caffeine than coffee. So I've also stopped this. The second one I'm about to talk about, I've actually stopped this for like 3 years now. So it's not like something recent, but it was dairy. I had to cut off dairy because I realized it was also a trigger for me. So I cut off dairy, and now I do oat milk, and I've seen a lot of difference from just moving from dairy to oat milk, and cutting off coffee as well. So identifying my triggers, as also like, they've helped me in like being more productive, because I've cut off my triggers. Some of them I've not cut off everything. I still eat a lot of gluten. Yes, I still eat a lot of gluten. I still do a lot of carbs. Guys, I'm not perfect, so I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying the ones I'm able to like cut off, I have cut them off, and I've actually seen a lot of improvements in my health. And I've also realized that I have lesser flare-ups now, if you get what I mean. So yeah. So the next one is about my work environment, and with endometriosis comes severe back pain, and this is something I've never mentioned to my colleagues. So they don't even know I live with severe back pain, because I've never mentioned to them, and that's because with endometriosis you actually have everything, and I just did not want to like bore them with all of my problems. So even when they were doing like my risk assessment, I never mentioned severe back pain, but this is also something I experienced a lot. Like it feels like a tractor is like going over your back. It is so bad. So because I live in severe back pain as well, obviously courtesy of endometriosis, I try to ensure that I'm still not perfect. A lot of times I still slouch like when seated on my chair at work, but I just try now to sit upright. I try to just ensure that the way I'm sat, my height is also like in sync with my desktop, so I'm not like and then because I've also got a lot of neck pain as well. Guys, there's just a lot going on when you have endometriosis. So I've been able to like manipulate my work environment a bit, just to help with the back pain and the neck pain that I experience. And so one more thing about my work is the fact that my colleagues are very, very considerate, and my line manager already told me like go for walks, like take a break. Like she told me to take like 5 minutes breaks like every now and then. So in the course of I do 9 to 5, which is like 9 hours. Gosh, 8 hours, yeah. So in 8 hours, I could have like 3 or 4 5-minute breaks. I would just step up, go for a walk along the corridor. So there's a long corridor that leads to my office. I would just walk down the corridor, walk back again. Sometimes I will walk down the stairs and then come back up again. And I've realized that it has really, really helped with my back pain. And so I just take like not really frequent, but breaks at intervals, maybe 5 minutes, usually 5 minutes breaks. And that has really, really helped me. So that's what I've done to adjust my work environment to like help me, become more productive. Next I'll talk about is exercise routine, and this is something I'm grateful for. Again, this one. So when I started this new job, I've got 2 line managers kind of, but one of them walks a lot. Like she loves walking, and she used to encourage all of us to walk. Obviously she has a car, like she's not poor, but she enjoys walking. If you live in the UK, you kind of know that walking is not, you're not walking because you're poor. Like it's not because you don't have a car. A lot of people have a car and they still walk. And when I came to the UK newly, I used to walk a lot before I had a car, but since I've started driving, gosh, I've not been walking that much. And this is something I now had to start this year, and I've seen a lot of difference. Like it's made a lot of difference in my health, and it has also reduced the number of flare-ups I get. So now I walk a lot. Like the only time you see me driving is say I need to drop off my child in nursery, or going to work, because obviously I'm in a hurry, and like long distances. But short distances, like I need to go to the nearest Tesco or the nearest Aldi, shopping down the street, I would not drive. I walk. And then now, because it's even summer, like I love the weather now. When I get back from work, I pretty much just park the car, in the driveway, and I go for a walk. And that has really, really been helpful. I used to skip, but guys, I'm just being honest with you. I've not been skipping as much as I used to do before I had my child. So before I had Brian, I used to skip a lot. I've not been skipping, but I'm getting back gradually to skipping as well. So skipping, walking, and swimming. So I've actually enrolled for swimming, and I will start that next month. So even though I've learned how to swim in the past, but because I've not swum. Is it swam or swum? Whatever. What is it called? Swam? Yeah. I've not swum, guys. I'm hoping that's the correct one now. So I've not swum in like a very, very long time. Is it swam or swum? Guys, I need to check that out. So let's see. Swam. No, past tense of swim. Oh, correct. Swam. Okay. So no, but it should be swam. Whatever. Because I need it's a past participle I need, so it should be swum. Oh guys, you know what I mean. So I've not swum. It should be swum actually. So I've actually not swum in like how many years? Maybe about 10 years, God knows. So I've actually enrolled for like a refresher class, kind of, and I will start that next month, because swimming also helps. So in terms of exercise, walking, skipping, and of course swimming, which I would start next month. Okay, so the next tip is actually communication. And this is a big one, honestly. And in terms of communication, I mean letting other people know that you actually live with endometriosis. And I want to believe that this is also applicable to you if you have any other medical condition that kind of impacts your productivity. I think you should let your colleagues know. In the UK, it is even very good, because you can actually report your medical conditions officially to occupational health, and your manager will do a risk assessment, and they will make adjustments to your work pattern and all of that. So you're in a good place if you live in the West. I believe in the UK, I don't know about how it is in other Western countries, but in the UK, like they're very good on, with that. Communicate to your colleagues, especially, I mean, not necessarily your colleagues, but for me, I'm happy that I've told my colleagues I live with, this condition, because they also look out for me. And that's I know that being African, we kind of like to hide. Like, I don't want someone to know I live with this. I don't want someone to know I live in the West, or let me just say in the UK. Everyone is like supportive, really. So especially in my place of work and in every other hospitals I've worked, they've always been supportive of my diagnosis. So they're always like, guys, if I go into details, I remember when I was in Essex, my manager then, he was very, very helpful. He would tell me so he would put my off duties on my period. Whenever my period came was when I'll be off duty, if that makes sense. Like, he was a man, but was very considerate. So he would just tell me, just let me know when your period starts. And because I cannot work whilst on my period. It's much better now, but guys, he was very, very bad then. And he would plot my off duty rota to fit into my cycle. Guys, it was, I mean, so I've been very, very fortunate with the managers I've worked with in the past. My colleagues, they've always been looking out for me in my past and present place of work. So I would say communication has also helped, and I believe that if you have a condition, communicate that to your colleagues, your friends, your family, especially your employer, actually, because they would make adjustment for you, and that has really helped me. Really, I don't know what I would have done if say my employer wasn't aware, my manager wasn't aware of my condition, or my colleagues aren't aware of my condition. I don't know how I'm going to survive, because they look out for me, and yeah, they're just amazing people. So I would definitely recommend that for you if you live with endometriosis. So 3 more tips to go. The next one is about mindset and positivity. I kind of touched on that earlier when I was talking about my morning routine, and I feel like everything starts and ends in the mind. This is my philosophy, or this is this is my own opinion or my own view. The question my colleague asked me was, how am I able to be productive despite all of this? And I would say that it's because I've been able to like establish a good mental health or a good state of mental health, such that every day when I set out of the house, I go out with so much positivity and a good mindset. Like I said, I'm Christian, and I start my day declaring this is the day that the Lord has made, and I would rejoice and be glad in it. And I'm also very big on affirmation. So I declare into my day, this is going to be a good day, this is going to be a productive day. Endometriosis would not impact me negatively in my job today or in whatever I'll be doing today. So it just helps. For me, it really helps. It really helps. Like having a positive mindset despite everything is very key if you would achieve a lot of things living with endometriosis. You just have to be positive. So the next one is actually community engagement. And talking about community engagement, it doesn't necessarily have to be like face-to-face groups. So I'm a member of not several, because I'm very particular about the groups I join, but I'm a member of some endometriosis groups online, especially on Facebook. And actually on Facebook, I'm a member of some of them on Facebook. And so you get a lot of tips when you join all those like groups online. Because you get to hear people's perspective. They all live with, endometriosis anyway. So, I mean, hearing from their perspective, their own journey also helps you to, make some adjustments, and it just helps you overall. Like, so I'm a member of certain groups online, endometriosis group, even on IG, and I get a lot of tips from them. I also follow a lot of endometriosis surgeons and endometriosis specialists as well. And this just helps me really to also keep myself up to date about recent latest technology in terms of endometriosis, the latest treatments, the latest line of management, latest surgery, and all of that. And also to hear from other people living with the same condition, how they're able to manage their health, their flare-ups, and how they've been able to identify their own triggers. Should I even mention, I think I need to mention that identifying my triggers wasn't that easy for me, because initially I did not know what was really triggering my flare-ups until I joined some of those groups, and people were saying, this is my trigger, that's my trigger, this is my trigger, and I realized, wait, this could be my trigger as well. And when I caught up those triggers, I saw a lot of improvement. Anyways, the last tip I'll be talking about is medical management. And as much as I'm a person of faith, I also believe in medical management. And to be honest with you, without the medical management of my endometriosis, I don't know if I'll still be alive today. I'm just being honest with you. Maybe I would have been dead. I'm just being honest. I've been fortunate to be in the hands of amazing doctors. Even when I was back in Nigeria, my consultant, I don't know if you would like me to mention his name, but oh gosh, Professor Dikogbe, amazing consultants. Like, gosh, one of the best in Nigeria. Really, he's one of the best endometriosis specialists in Nigeria. So I've been very lucky. And even when I moved to the UK, I've always been in the hands of amazing endometriosis specialists. So without the medical management, I don't think I'll be alive today. Obviously, by the grace of God, I'm alive. But what I'm saying is, even medicine or medical intervention has really helped me. Like I said, I've had some surgeries and I still have some forthcoming. And so you cannot do without medical management, honestly. And I cannot overemphasize the importance of good medical management, prompt interventions. Like, there are times I'm in and out of the hospital. Oh gosh, it's just a lot. So that has also helped me. Even some of my hormonal treatments has also helped me. At the moment, I'm on one of the hormonal treatment and it gives me a lot of hot flushes. That's why I have a fan right beside me. So, but it's actually helped my symptoms. And so medical management is also very key. So I think I've come to the end of this video. So let me know if you've enjoyed watching. If you want to know more about my endometriosis journey, let me know in the comments. I might make time to film a whole video talking about my journey, in the last 14 years. But so these are the tips that I use on a daily basis, really, to ensure that I stay productive and I stay positive actually, despite, living with endometriosis plus adenomyosis now actually. So guys, I really do hope you've enjoyed watching. Do all subscribe, like, and of course share this video with your friends. So if you've got friends living with endometriosis, you need to share this with them. Let them know, some of this. Let them learn from me. I'm an OG in endometriosis, really. So yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.